Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Iron Woman. We only have special guests, and today we have Karla with us. Karla and I, we met on a virtual networking event. Now we take it to the podcast. Karla, introduce yourself a little bit. Who is Karla who's going to join us for today?
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Suzanne. And who am I? I came to the U.S. when I was around 5 years old, and I like to describe myself as someone that's very persistent and ambitious and caring and just wants to make the world a better place. Through the world of sports, I grew up playing soccer. That's really been my foundation of helping me build the life that I'm building now, and then really my career and just being able to transfer what I've learned from the field on into later on in life.
A female soccer player. Fantastic, right? And you say football because that's the real way we say it, right?
Yes.
Did you play before you came to the US, or you started that only in the US?
I started in the US. From what I was told, my dad always played. That's how I picked up the game. And he played with me when I was little, but when I was around 6, I started playing. And then I did like a couple of club leagues. I did travel teams. I played in high school. And then I played club level at my university.
Tell us about some highlights of the sports career that you've had. This is inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. Really, the most important moments for me in soccer were really when I was in high school. That's when I really understood how much this meant to me. And the reason why I say that is because when I was growing up, my dad was in sales. He still is in sales. And we would go to his conventions for his company. And when I was little, I wouldn't go to the meetings. But when I turned around 11 or 12, I started going into his conferences with him just to learn what he does, because I never really understood what he did. That's where I started learning the importance of mindset and growth. And it was just so over my level, but it really helped me develop my mindset. From that derived me reading about Napoleon Hill and Robert Kiyosaki, and even learning about Tony Robbins. I was so young. Then I remember when I went into high school, my freshman year I was on the JV team, but I knew that I loved the game so much. I wanted to be on varsity. It's really unheard of that you're a sophomore on a varsity team, let alone a starter. After really learning all of the teachings and the podcasts and the books from these previous mentors, I would say, that's when I was like, hey, let me try it and see if this works. And so after my freshman year, that summer, I started working, and then I trained nonstop. I was playing soccer at least 4 to 5 hours, 5 to 6 times a week, if not the whole week. And I loved it. I loved the persistency with it, how tough it was, because it was really just me training against myself. And that's really one of the biggest takeaways that I took. Is first set your goal, okay, I want to join the varsity team my sophomore year. And then the second was, how do I get there? It was little by little, and it was just, I felt so powerful. It was such a different feeling of, hey, I did it. And when I achieved it, and when I did try out in the summer for varsity, I made it. And that's when I was like, wow, it worked. And here I am, and I'm a starter too. That's really when soccer and all of everything that was going on in my life, I was able to connect it. And then I'd use the same type of methodology for getting good grades, going and applying to college, getting the career that I want. And it's just all about developing yourself and building that confidence.
Very wise word. Everybody should listen up. Karla is a successful young woman. It's amazing. And I see a lot of people, they see all those stars and they think wow, I want to be like them. But It is hard work. I think you mentioned it, right? 5
Hmm.
times 5 hours. This is a lot of work. I mean, I've done many marathon races and Ironman. I know how much it takes and you're tired.
Definitely.
You don't want to do this anymore. Tell us a little bit on like you go up, up, up in your career. And was there any time a plateau and I don't want to do this
Oh,
anymore?
for sure. No, there are definitely times, especially the year after.
Mm.
My next goal was I want to be captain, and I worked out way too much that I got myself like sick. I basically
Yeah.
got anemia from it because I was in the sun too much. I wasn't eating as much as I was burning, and I was in bed for like 2 weeks. My
Mm.
blood level was really low. My iron level was really low. Thankfully, I didn't need to get a blood transfusion or anything,
Mm.
but I just had to stay away from the sport and like just relax. And that was really tough for me because I was like, oh no, like I just want to go back.
Yeah.
And then another, I guess, setback for me was that year, or it was the spring of, I got an injury. I was in an injury. I had to get surgery. My meniscus was torn on my left knee.
Mm.
And that's when I was like, wow, I was so devastated because I worked so hard to get here. And then
Mm.
now I have to start over. I have to basically I was on crutches for
Mm.
about maybe like 2, 3 months.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to PT. It was really difficult. And for me, my most important thing was trying to overcome that and still keep that passion and love for the
Mm.
game and
Mm.
not basically give up. That was another key moment. I was like, okay, I need to learn to
Mm.
relax. I need to learn to just take a step back, but then I need to come back stronger.
Mm.
And one of my favorite athletes is, besides in the world of soccer, it's Lionel Messi,
Mm.
but in basketball, it's Kobe Bryant. And the reason why is he has this work ethic that's just beatable.
Mm.
And what I really learned about him, I would listen to his podcast and everything, especially when I work out. He's just obsessed with the game. He's so committed. And not in a healthy way, but unhealthy way. It's more of like a healthy of this is
Mhm.
what I want because when I retire, I don't want to regret anything. From that, it was just, again, trying to stay positive. But at the end of the day, I had my days where I just wanted to throw it all away. And
Mm.
then always remembering that there's a bigger picture to where you really want to be.
You give so many great advice, right? We all know that the champions, they go beyond the pain point. And some people say like, oh, I don't want to do when it hurts. When you work out
That's
5
when
days,
it builds you.
that's when it builds character, endurance,
Mhm.
determination, energy. And you said it, you were injured. And I think when you're injured, it's also a time when you can reflect. What do I want? Is it
100%.
worth it? Or tell us, how was that? I mean, 2 months is a long time to do nothing.
Yeah, I watched a lot of soccer games. That's what I did. But no, I also really, like you said, I reflected
Yeah.
and I was also just so proud of myself because I know I was giving it all to the game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I also just wanted to really see, okay, where do I want to take the game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, I started going to my team's games and I would just sit on the sideline. But then a little passion and love for coaching grew in me and just pushing others and being like, hey, you can do it. Like, go, 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 like score, like, you know, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then eventually from that, I was like, hey, maybe this is a different type of role I can have on the field right now until things get better.
Yeah.
And eventually that love for coaching really took off later on, like 3 years, 4 years later. I coached the JV team for my high school when I was in college. And then I started doing like on coaching on the side for the little ones. And I just love it. You know, I thought it's just something so different to be able to have that inspiration in others because to me, my coaches were my mentors too.
Yeah.
Well, I remember one of my coaches when we were doing sprints and he would kill us, run us to the ground, but it was just to build us. And he would say, just think of the person you want to be on the field. It could be someone else or it could be yourself. Yeah. And I never forgot that, especially when I was dying in my last sprint, but it worked out.
I'm a running coach. Sometimes I have participants who come to me and they say, I heard your voice in the race. I heard your voice in my head. Those coaches, you say something and it sticks with you and you're like, go one more step faster. Don't give up. You can do this. All of that. It has to be the positive affirmation that come to you and that get you through all the difficult times, right? Do you have any positive affirmation that you like, okay, I hear all the time?
That's a great question. Yes, I do. One of them that I learned later on when I was in college was from one of my professors. He told me, and he was also a Tony Robbins fan. We bonded over Tony. And he told me, every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. And he told me, repeat that to yourself when you want to give up, when you are working out, whatever it is. Just remember that. And that's really been my life motto. When I'm running that last mile or that last lap, and then I think my legs are going to give up, I just always say that, and it always pushes me through.
And it's true, right? When you think I can't take this anymore. Okay, one more step. Or I know Roger Federer, the tennis player, says when he's practicing his volley or serve, if he thinks he's done, do 2 more or 10 more, whatever his mantra is. And I'm always like, okay. And I had a client and as a coach, and he said, I cannot run 5 miles. And he says, I can run 4 miles. I said to him, look at those lampposts. Go 1 further when you're done with 4 miles.
Yeah.
Go 2 further. And then I think I forgot about it. And a few months later, he came back and he says, Coach, thank you so much. I can run 5 miles now. And I was like, whoa.
That's amazing.
Little things like that count.
Yeah, it's the little things that really build it up. I'm a firm believer that it's always going to be the little habits. Habits are so important, whether it's waking up early or just staying up a little extra later. It really is going to determine where you're going to be tomorrow in 5-10 years.
Thank you so much, Karla, and good luck with everything. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. You have a great night.
Wow, that was cool. What did you learn from Karla? What an energy. What a great attitude. What kind of wisdom she has. Never give up. Always try some more. What do we learn from the champions? Go beyond the pain point. Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday, every Wednesday. And Take It from the Iron Woman started out as a book, Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Get it on Amazon. There's something for everybody. It's about my journey from Switzerland to New York to Kilimanjaro to Ironman and 26 marathon races. Thank you for listening on your preferred channel, and see you